Hello there and welcome to this edition of Iron Pod. It is proudly brought to you by West Blue Consulting, Ghana Oil Company Limited and Ghana Community Network Services. A proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. And folks, this week we are at the TEMA Fishing Harbour where you can see behind me lots of tuna being offloaded. And that's because we have been bringing you schedules of vessels, fishing vessels that even come to the fishing harbour, like that one, and all of that. So at any time, tune into Iron Pod and you should be knowing the vessels that are bringing the fish you consume in the market in this country. People, this week we're going to talk about the TEMA port expansion project because we have been promised by Meridian Port Services and Ghana Port and Harbours Authority that exactly a year from now, that's June 2019, the TEMA port expansion should reach about 90% complete. And that means that we should see about 2 berths being completed and being in use. But how far have they come? And whether indeed this promise will materialize by June 2019, we stormed the TEMA port expansion site to speak with the Meridian Port Services Chief Executive Officer, Mohammed Samara, as well as his right-hand man, the man in charge of legal at MPS, Ebo Brown. Your able assistant is by you all the time.
All the time.
Uncle Ebo, the man we call him the deputy CEO of MPS. But he's the head of legal, isn't he?
He is indeed.
It's been a while since we have been on the site here, but the last time we were here, I can tell you that not this much of the sea space had been reclaimed. To what extent have you come?
As far as the reclamation, the land where we are almost at 90% of the reclamation done. And at the moment, we are building the quay wall. And the quay wall is where ships will come alongside. What you see behind me, it's not a block of flats, because from the main road, it looks as if we are building some apartments. In fact,
people have asked me that when you drive past the Community 3, it's as if an annex, a second part of Community 3, the Senate flat, is coming up in the sea. Is that what is happening?
These structures, as you can see on the counter on its side, it's 19 meters high.
Huge concrete.
Huge concrete. That's 1,000 cubic meter of concrete.
Wow.
Weighing 2,600 ton each. Those are the elements that will be lined up to form the quay wall. We cast them on the ground. We send them out. As you can see, these are being dragged to this side to get ready to move there and then be positioned like that one on the pier. And then there is a big barge that comes and take them on board. We roll them on airbags. And then it goes on board, then the barge submerges the whole entire structure and let it float. And currently, as we speak, there is one floating. Then it will be barged into position and then sunk into position. And that forms the quay wall. We're going to do 74 of those. We have already 20 in the water and 21 is being put and number 22 is lined up to be carried there. So it's about
22 of these heavy structures are already in the sea.
20 in the sea and 2 are in transit to go into the sea.
I see. And you were hoping to have 74 in
74 in total for the whole entire project. Yes.
Wow. How was this built?
It's a steel reinforced concrete structure. So basically special steel is formed and then special molds cast it, the wall, and it goes up in sections.
Are there holes in the middle? Is it?
Yeah, it's hollow.
Okay, it's hollow. Okay.
Then it will be filled with aggregate and sand, and then it will be capped and it will receive a crown. That will become the deck of the quay wall. Where
about how many meters thick of that crown?
Probably around 2 to 3 meters of deck. Then the crane rail comes on top, and then we mount the cranes on it.
So what basically is being done, unlike the usual thing that you would see that concrete is being, they will dump a lot of stones and then they will cap it with some concrete. This one, you have these stuff. Precast.
On land.
I see.
And then put in place.
What's the advantage in doing that against?
Speed.
Okay.
That's one. durability, future durability.
Oh, is that so? This is
yeah.
more durable than
Yeah.
the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 3, you have a mass. If tomorrow a ship bumps into it, you know, it bumps into something which weighs a lot. Where if it was made out of blocks, it could cause damage to this very block. Then
Yeah.
it will become very difficult to mend. You know, so there is pros and cons in everything.
Okay.
But basically, this is the way.
Okay.
And this one costs a little bit more, of course, than the traditional way.
And you were describing earlier that the entire thing is going to go deep down the sea.
Yes.
Is that what has been done here, though, or this side is separate?
This is the pier. This
Okay.
is the loading point
Okay.
of these things. There is big cables, as you can see over
Yeah.
here, with a big engine over there
Yeah.
that drags it from the production line and bring it to the pier. Then that big barge, the blue one, now it's floating. This one has just sunk one of them into the water.
So,
It's a
but you are saying that the blue structure over there is what carries
What
this
carries
concrete
this-
stuff into the
Yeah,
sea.
and you see that one, which is like almost less than 1/5 over water. That is already floating.
Okay.
And the barges are pushing it or floating it into position
Okay.
where it will be sunk and put into position as a quay wall.
Okay.
So
So,
we have-
in all, 74 of this particular
Will have to
structure
go.
will get into the sea and position very well, and then eventually become the quay wall.
You see those flags in the
Yes.
water?
Yes.
Those are the tips, the top of one of those.
I see.
And there is 22 of them.
I see.
And the excavator is
So
pulling sand.
everything virtually gets sunk into the water.
Yes.
You can only just see the surface there.
Exactly. Where the excavator works all the way to the tipper trucks, and this is number 21 going there to sink in place.
So around where an excavator just taking sand and filling that
Yes,
space.
that's the beginning.
Okay. So
And
it means
then-
that some of them are already there.
They're already there, the big
Where
structures.
you have the flags.
There is 20 of them where the flag is. The flags are the tips
I see.
of those things. We have 20 of them all the way to the tipper trucks at the very end. And that one floating is the number 21 going in. And you can tell from here, the nice view, how the effect of the breakwater calming the water,
Yeah.
creating a harbor where we can harbor vessels in, as compared to the water outside where it's rough.
Yeah.
And this very platform where we are, there's 4 bays for tipping trucks. Trucks come loaded with stone, reverse into this and tip straight into this barge.
one.
And that barge takes it to the very far end of the breakwater and open its bottom and drops everything into position. So this is the loading pier for the stone that goes to build the breakwater. And it's a nice aerial view.
Yeah, very nice aerial view. I think this is where the president stood when he came around.
His Excellency
His Excellency
indeed
the
was
President.
standing where we are
Yeah,
standing,
yeah.
but none of this was there. And
Was there.
I mean, there is a big team over here, obviously, working day and night on this project. And there is almost 2,000 Ghanaians actually sweating in building this asset for the nation.
I see, about 2,000.
Yes.
Because prior to the commencement of this project, it was anticipated that those who will be on working will be about 2,000, and people who would benefit overall is going to get around 5,000. We heard that.
Correct.
Is that what we are seeing?
Yes, yes. I mean, it's not just the workforce which is working on site here in the crushers, in driving the trucks, in the supplies, the support services, etc. If you sum up all of that, and the economical effect of this project will be equivalent to 5,000 jobs.
I see. And this is what I was asking earlier. From this point of view, are you going to come further in?
No.
Okay,
that's
so
it.
this is the end.
This is
where
the
we're gonna
end.
see
The
the
quay
end.
wall is the end, and the breakwater is there.
Okay.
The rest, you see, it's the biggest harbor basin.
Yeah.
A lot of shipping lines, they are like, why?
Yeah.
We said because we're building with a design criteria for 100 years.
Okay.
This is not concession for MPS, that's
Okay.
for GPHA.
Yeah.
Later on, if the GPHA wants to develop
Decides to
the
develop
peninsula,
that
they will develop the peninsula, you know, and they can take equally the same size and even more on the peninsula.
I see.
The port could, depending on the length of the berth, could accommodate 18 to 20 berths, depending on how long you want it for what purpose. And MPS is concession to 4 only out of the 20.
The 20 berths. So the rest is still up for projects if
for GPHA and future expansion and etc.
Okay.
Because ports are not built, every day. Especially the breakwater harbor basin.
It's a major project, so it takes a lot of time. Talk to us about cost and how you are getting all these projects going. Are there any delays? Have you had challenges?
We are very much financed from the day one. We have a commitment for 1 billion for the first phase out of the 1.5 billion, which is the two-phased project. That 1 billion commitment was made through when we announced it at GPHA headquarters, second floor. It was a slot by the shareholders, which they have already honored, and a slot by the IFC. So we have already spent the third of the value of the first phase, which is the billion, and now the 667 million from IFC has kicked in. Obviously, we're gonna take a drawdown in tranches as needed, because once you touch the banker's money, you start paying interest. We're not gonna pay interest for money to spend. So we are taking the first 100 million drawdown on top of the 330 that the shareholders already pumped in.
Okay, so it means that you're not handicapped in any way.
Every time we want to go for more money, there is no approval process. The contract is already signed with the bankers for 667 million.
Oh, okay.
The process is just to call for a drawdown.
Okay.
So now until the end.
Yeah, so I think that I noticed, Mr. Bo Brown, in the papers, in the dailies recently, that you put out something regarding your financing.
The first drawdown has come. Okay. And as and when we need any money, we just call and then it is brought in. Okay. And as we said, it's in tranches and we take it as and when we need it for the project purpose.
It means that if anybody had a cause of worry that you have financial challenges as far as the project is concerned, you will debunk that.
That is not true at all. We have enough resources.
Okay. By June 2019, we should be getting something out of this project. How well have we prepared the minds of Ghanaians for this heavy project?
Basically, we have part of the implementation plan, the stakeholder engagement, which I think this one is premature to start talking about it in depth. But from, I would say, end of this year, beginning of next year, we're going to have really mega engagement with the mass. How we intend to run it, what's the capacity, what's the added capacity, because some of the shipping lines, they have really registered strong interest for transit, transshipment, and so on and so forth.
How have we resolved issues between this project and the community in which it's situated? Some time back we had issues with Ave Maria. Have you sorted all of that out?
It is sorted out and we continue to engage all relevant authorities. We have stakeholder engagements, which is very important in a project like this. You need to meet fishermen, you need to meet project affected persons, and you dialogue with them. And that is the way to go, and that is the way we've gone.
One of the concerns I recently heard His Excellency the President made was that mining communities are now deteriorated. The towns haven't benefited anything from the mining companies. We have TEMA, particularly TEMA New Town or Community 1. We have Nungwa on this side of your project. What future do you see for these communities? Of what benefit is your project to some of these communities?
First of all, we all witnessed, and you live in TEMA, how congested TEMA was, and specifically the TEMA end of the motorway, Accra-TEMA motorway. That runabout was a misery to commuters, whether you're going to school, work, you forgot something at home, you want to go fetch it and come back.
Lots of traffic there.
It was
very
unbelievable.
Yes.
So we embarked on a $7 million with GPHA, but financed fully by MPS under the wing of GPHA and the Ministry of Roads and Highways. And we completed that project in a remarkable time, actually on time, and that instantly worked like magic and removed the congestion that we were suffering from on daily basis. TEMA and Accra is connected through 2 points. The Accra-TEMA motorway and the beach road. There isn't a third one between Accra and TEMA. Unless you loop over Dodua and you come back on the Akosombo road, which you come back to the same point, which is the...
the motorway or the beach road?
Yeah, we solved one. There is one.
That's the motorway.
The motorway.
Okay.
And there is another one to be
Yes.
solved. The community.
The beach road.
The beach road. The community.
The traffic
freedom.
there is terrible, and people complain that for the past 60 years or so, since the whole of TEMA became as industrialized as it is, we haven't seen that road is still a single road.
We are engaged in serious talks with the Ministry of Roads and Highways, and with the support of the ministry, our sector ministry, the Ministry of Transport, to resolve this and find a road project that can take care of this traffic. Basically, there is a solution to the road, and we're going to contribute to the community.
So if what we saw right there is anything to go by, and if Mohammed Samara as well as Ebo Brown's promise that we are seeing about a number of BEFs ready by June 2019 is anything to go by, then there is a brighter light at the end of the tunnel. Eye on Port returns after the break.
Hello?
Good morning, this is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less. Bye.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Get it right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window, the only way to Ghana's economic growth is in our hands.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
Fraud alert. GPHA does not auction. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority wishes to inform the general public that the authority does not buy and sell on internet platforms and does not auction cars and other items in and around the port. Beware of fraudsters who claim to auction cars and other items in the ports and defraud people in the process. For further information, contact tema@ghanaports.net or call +233 303 202 758. Beware of fraudsters.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Eye on Port, and stakeholders at the fishing harbour have been engaging to see how best they can make the place number one, so that all the fish that you consume at home and buy from the market will be of the best quality and also good for you. That plus many more comes up in news and activities happening in and around the port and maritime industry.
The TEMA Fishing Harbour has held its second quarter stakeholders meeting to discuss appropriate measures to ensure safety in and around the fishing harbour. The general manager of TEMA Fishing Harbour, Kumi Ejay Sam, disclosed that work has progressed steadily on the health post, which will cater for the health needs of workers at the fishing harbour.
Most of the block works have been completed. They are now fixing the plumbing works and water supply and sewage lines. And we are hoping that by August ending, it will be completed.
In order to promote good sanitation conditions, he said there have been renovation and rehabilitation works on the Kanu Basin. A fire officer from TEMA Port Fire and Safety Department, Andrew Taylor, took time to explain the dangers associated with the use of gas cylinders at the fishing harbour and advised on how to handle them properly.
When it comes to the key players at the fishing harbour, realize that most of the cylinders we use are acetylene or oxygen bottles. Especially when it comes to the handling of these cylinders, it's not being done properly at all.
Alexander Sasu from the National Communications Authority entreated vessel owners to reduce licensing of their vessels yearly, as failure to do so means they will be out of business.
Ghana Maritime Authority (GMA) has commemorated the 2018 International Day of the Seafarer. Every year, June 25th is set aside internationally to celebrate the International Day of the Seafarer, to acknowledge the invaluable work of the seafarer, and to express appreciation for their tremendous sacrifices. Speaking at the ceremony, Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Kwame Usu, described the work of seafarers as hazardous and further placed emphasis on strategies to tackle stress and other issues affecting their mental health.
The GMA on our part will continue to work with all stakeholders, particularly the Regional Maritime University, seafarers unions, as well as ship mining agencies, not only to ensure high standards of training and certification of our seafarers, but to advance and promote decent working and living conditions for our seafarers.
Kwame Usu said the GMA will commence the issuance of biometric discharge books to Ghanaian seafarers in July 2018. He said discussions are ongoing with service providers to introduce an online verification system for seafarers.
It is expected that this system will eliminate delays and address verification issues by the international shipping community who operate at different time zones.
The IMO Regional Coordinator for West and Central Africa, Captain Dallas Laye, declared that the celebration of the Day of the Seafarer will provide a platform to advocate for a good working environment for seafarers and thereby make a positive contribution to their well-being.
Day of the Seafarer 2018, which is celebrated 25th of June every year, will provide a platform to advocate for higher standards of welfare and enable shipping companies and other within the industry to show how they provide a good working environment for seafarers.
He encouraged seafarers to report issues with mental health before they manifest into accidents.
I call on ship owners and managers to be attentive to well-being of seafarers.
The Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Isaac Krentsil, has urged freight forwarders in the country to uphold higher ethical standards in the discharge of their duties to ensure that they get the derived satisfaction from the services they require. Isaac Krentsil was speaking at the maiden annual general meeting of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, which was part of efforts to re-strategize and improve on its operations at the country's ports.
The membership of women must know or be reminded that your job as brokers is a professional job. A professional must know his or her job, the level of expertise. Furthermore, a professional job is guided by ethics of the profession.
The acting president of the association noted that the National Executive Committee of CUBAG has been working tirelessly over the years to give the association recognition in the clearing and freight forwarding industry.
From a small beginning, we now have over 200 corporate members. NEC is doing all that is humanly possible to perform.
Some executives from the Ghana Shippers Authority, Importers, Exporters Association of Ghana, Association of Custom House Agencies of Ghana, and the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders were present to solidarize with members of QBAG.
The Ghana Shippers Authority, in collaboration with the French Embassy, has embarked on a basic French teaching course for freight forwarders. The training program is to last for 6 weeks, with 30 participants being members of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Custom Brokers Association of Ghana, and Association of Custom House Agents of Ghana. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Benonita Bismarck, this initiative is to bridge the gap in communication between Ghanaians and their Sahelian counterparts in the maritime business. She said it was important to target the custom house agents as their subjects, since they have constant direct interaction with transitors.
We are hemmed in by all these francophone countries, and most of the time communication when it comes to transit trade is very difficult.
She also acknowledged the French Embassy's 100% sponsorship of the program. She said the training program includes a special trainer of trainees program which would equip one of the Shippers Authority's staff to take over subsequent training programs.
Quickly, the French Embassy decided that they would want to support us by training the customs house agents, and as part of the training they would want to train one of our staff on a trainer of trainers program.
Benonita Bismarck encouraged the participants of the course to be committed to this language development program by practicing among themselves, as that is the only way languages are efficiently learned. The acting executive secretary of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Eddie Akrong, welcomed the opportunity to take the French lessons and added that it will go a long way to improve their working relationship with the transit business community.
The interesting part is that we stand at a huge disadvantage because we haven't taken our French seriously. So we think that this will put us in great stead.
International news happening around the port and maritime news.
The Liberian Registry has supported Australia, which is calling on the International Maritime Organization (IMO) to reconsider transparency and the role of industry bodies in the organization. Liberia is likely to be the largest flag state to support the push by Australia, which will lead to a submission to the IMO Council meeting in July, calling into question the existing role of the IMO Council and the IMO Assembly, and seeking to facilitate greater transparency and the wider representation of maritime interests in the IMO. TEMA Development Company of Nigeria Limited has inked a contract with South Korean shipbuilder Hyundai Mipo Dockyard for one firm and one optional 23,000 CBM liquefied petroleum gas carrier. According to SY Park, the executive vice president and chief marketing officer of Hyundai Heavy Industries, the order from TEMA was secured under a competitive tender process in close cooperation with Nigeria LNG. The firm eco-designed ship will be delivered within the first quarter of 2020 and then placed on time charter to Nigeria LNG Limited. The Grimaldi Group has signed an agreement with Alfa Laval for PureSox connectivity services on 5 vessels operated by its Atlantic Container Line ACL brand, specialized in the transatlantic cargo shipping. Under the 3-year contract, Alfa Laval will provide ACL compliance monitoring and data for use in optimizing PureSox operation.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricant that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
Schedules of vessels coming into the port, those at anchorage, those expected in the coming week, including those fishing vessels that are coming in just like those behind me, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate are all next on your screens. Now, this week, an importer walked into the offices of Iron Port and complained that he imported a Toyota RAV4 2017 model hybrid edition, but he's been asked to pay 20% more for a hybrid vehicle. He doesn't understand why, instead of encouraging the importation of hybrid vehicles, they are now being asked to pay 20% more. All of that come in comments.
Eugene Edu says, thanks for your quick reply on Iron Port. Kindly check the duty of Ford F20 XLT year 2004 diesel 6.0 V8 with the following chassis number. Hope to hear from you soon. Eugene, the estimated duty of your Ford is 25,800. Richard Martin says, can you please update us on vessels expected at TEMA Fishing Harbour this week? Richard, kindly make time to watch the Iron Port program at 6 p.m. on Sundays on Metro TV and on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. on GTV, and you will always get an update of fishing vessels arriving at the fishing harbour. Machiavelli Original says, please, can you get me a job in a vessel at the port? My documents are intact. Machiavelli, there are a number of public and private companies in the maritime industry. You may consider applying to any of them with your relevant documents and you may be lucky.
So we will be seeking answers for that particular importer. In the meantime, all of you can continue to send your comments to us via the addresses you see on the screens there. Thank you for watching the program, and also thanks a lot to the entire team for making the program happen, particularly Martin Minta, Belinda Decker, Lawrence Gezu, Joe Bone, Joe Lavo, executive producers of the program, Madam Abna Sewa Opokufosu, Madam Esther Jebidonko, Godwin Kabute, Robert Nyantechi, and my man Solomon Anderson. Thanks for watching.